I'm going to be discussing StoreOnce, HP StoreOnce. We've had some ongoing challenges in our backup infrastructure, being able to complete the job successfully, have good knowledge that our data was secure, and we knew we needed to improve upon that. And StoreOnce and the dedupe technology was where we wanted to, it's where we wanted to go. As far as once we've implemented StoreOnce, it's achieved what we thought it would do, and then some. One of our it wasn't our primary objective. Our secondary objective was to reduce the tape out. And by implementing StoreOnce, we've been able to dramatically reduce the number of tapes that we have to keep in our environment. We've had a real challenge with our resorts and making sure the backups are performed and completed. And we're able to do that and bring the replicated images back, or excuse me, the deduped images back to our central location. So we are, a much higher rate of success in our backups. It's built on HP hardware, no problem there. And the virtual appliance, it's virtualized, so no problems at all with stability. Scalability that's one of the other features that I really like about it, especially in the virtual appliance. All you do is, if you run out of space, you add another VMDK, and it just scales up seamlessly. You don't even have to reboot. We used HP's technical support for the startup services. They helped us with the implementation, and we've had a couple of challenges where we've had to engage them, and they're fantastic. They've just been, they listen, problems get escalated if they need to get escalated. They're extremely helpful. And what really impressed me is it's like they're very knowledgeable of the Burr environment. They were well aware of the challenges that I was facing with my users. If we had an outage, they were well aware of that I had to find a different place to store the data, what the risks were. So yeah, they're fantastic. I love the technical services that we get from them. We had some bumps as far as implementation. Part of the challenge that we have is our primary data centers are hosting centers, so they're lights out. We don't have staff there. So that was a bit of a challenge for scheduling, but then that is agnostic of the product that you're trying to install. But through the startup services that we purchased from HP Services helped us, because we have to integrate this with our backup product, which we're a semantic shop, so we had to integrate that, the StoreOnce technology with that, and they were very helpful in getting that done. Yes, it slips in very well. One of the things we really like about it is that you manage everything from the backup console. So our backup administrator, he's totally unaware, well, he is aware of it, but he manages it just like it's another store. So the deduplication, all that happens in the background. We don't have to go to a separate console to manage StoreOnce and another one for our backup application, one console. I can't think of any futures. It's meeting our requirements now. For us, it's just a question of, we've only been running it for about 3 to 6 months now. I'm looking for a full year. We are trying to test out some of the new features like the RMC product, which helps integrate the StoreOnce with 3PAR, and we're going to be bringing in our 3PAR storage very, very soon, and we're looking forward to the ability of StoreOnce to integrate with other HP solutions that we purchase. We've looked at dedupe technology for quite some time, but we're primarily an HP shop, so we wanted something that would integrate well into what we currently have. One of the things we liked about StoreOnce is that it is a technology that scales very well. They have hardware appliances at the high end, and they also have a virtual appliance. And in our deployment, in our infrastructure, we needed both ends. And it's the same interface, the same functionality. That's one of the things that we really, really liked about it. I would rate StoreOnce a 10. Sorry, I just love HP. And the support, That's not only HP, it's the support we get pre-sales, support we get post-sales, support we get in the implementation. So not just the product, but it's the people behind the product as well. If I had a peer ask me about StoreOnce, I'm a technical consultant from background, so I'd ask them what problem they're trying to solve and make sure they got the right one, because with StoreOnce, it's not a point solution. It has to fit well into your environment, so you have to understand what it is, what problems you're trying to solve, so that you implement it properly. We had to integrate, in our case, we had challenges with remote circuits that we had to make sure it did the low bandwidth replication. We had to integrate it with Symantec, so unless you have the same problems as I am, you wouldn't necessarily implement the same solutions. But through that implementation process, I learned a lot about the product. And coming to events like this, HP Discover, you learn more. You learn some trips that you didn't do, like for example, during this trip I learned about the Catalyst plugin that I can use for my database products so that my DBAs can do their backups direct to StoreOnce. I didn't know that was available. So it's just amazing, no cost. Because I've already, as long as you have the StoreOnce appliance with Catalyst, there's no cost for that. So there's a nice feature that's going to keep my DBAs happy. So depending on what it is you're trying to solve, the problem to solve, you got to implement the right solution for that. In this day and age, getting peer content reviews is tough. You go to the internet and get reviews, and you're going to get some really off-the-wall impressions. In the pre-sale cycle for this, I attended 3 separate conferences and symposiums from my channel partners and from HP. That's where I got the peer content, because these are real customers coming, interested in implementing, and they were able to share how, their challenges, their requirements, and what they did to solve it. That is very, very helpful. You can read the white papers, and HP is fantastic for white papers on implementation and technology, but nothing more valuable than listening to other customers and what they do and sharing your experiences with them.